These 5 things are the reason that I could not lose weight for years, and if you're doing any of these, you could actually be sabotaging your own fat loss results as well. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 mistakes that women make, especially on their fat loss journey, and I'm going to give you actionable solutions for each one instead. Hi, my name is Abby, and I am an online fitness coach and nutritionist of 10 years, and I help women improve their healthy habits and make their fat loss journey feel effortless. If you're into habits, nutrition, mindset, all of the things, then make sure you subscribe because I have so many good videos coming your way. And come and follow me on Instagram here because I share daily free advice there too. So just a little backstory and to give you a bit of context, I struggled with yo-yo dieting for 8 whole years. I would start a new diet, probably low carb, keto, whatever the new fad diet was, and I would stick to that diet for a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months. I would lose the weight, feel great, and then once I reached my goal weight, it wasn't long before I'd gained the weight back plus some. I literally spent years in this cycle, and I just wish that I had have known these things sooner. So you're gonna learn so much today. Mistake number 1, and this is probably the most important, it is under eating for your calorie needs. Now, when it comes to fat loss, a calorie deficit is the most important thing, yes, but so many women drop their calories too low. For example, 1,000 calorie diets or 1,200 calorie diets. Yes, of course, you're going to lose the weight because you are in a huge calorie deficit, but what happens when you eat less than your body actually requires just as a baseline? You actually run the risk of losing muscle, and when you lose muscle mass, it slows down your metabolism. So yes, in the short term, you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to be losing muscle and slowing down your metabolism, which is so much more detrimental in the long term. So what you want to do instead, when you're starting off your fat loss journey, find a calorie deficit that is actually only about 15 to 20% from your maintenance calories. It is really easy. You can use a site here called TDEE calculator, pop in all your data and it'll come out with a maintenance amount, and then just minus 15 to 20% from that. Track your calories over a period of time, and what you'll find is that because you're not eating such low calories, you will have more energy, it will be more enjoyable, and you're far less likely to binge on the weekend or at other periods of time because you're actually fueling your body with enough food. Now, the second mistake that so many women make, and that I used to make as well, is that thinking that more cardio was the answer to your fat loss. Yes, cardio burns calories. There is no doubt that an hour of running will burn quite a lot of calories, but it's actually not as much as you think, and it's not as much as your Apple Watch tells you. Now, if we're looking at this graph here, this is the total amount of energy that you have burnt throughout the day. And what you will find that your exercise calories is actually such a small portion of this graph. The biggest part of the graph is your basal metabolic rate. Now, this is what you burn at rest. So when you're lying on the couch doing absolutely nothing, the majority of your calories burnt is actually from your BMR. So how do you increase your BMR? You start strength training. Strength training is actually going to be the thing that helps you in the long run when it comes to fat loss. Yes, at the time when you're doing it in the gym, it's not burning nearly as many calories, but when you can burn muscle, you'll end up increasing your metabolism because you'll burn more energy at rest. What I also found when I was doing a shit ton of cardio is that I was actually so much more hungry, so it was really hard to stick to my deficit when I was doing more cardio. Now, the third mistake that a lot of women are making is not prioritizing their sleep and their evening routine. It's really going to affect you if you're in bed scrolling right until bedtime on Instagram, checking messages and all of that sort of thing. If you're putting your phone straight down and then going straight to sleep, your sleep is most likely going to be disrupted. It won't be good quality sleep, and some people just don't get enough good quality sleep at all in general. They're going to bed too late, and you actually get your best sleep from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Now, when you have a good night's sleep, it's going to have a flow-on effect into every other area of your life. It's going to increase your dopamine levels, which actually is responsible for motivation. So having a good night's sleep will make you feel more motivated. It's going to help you make better food decisions because you'll feel better and you won't feel so tired and like you're craving sugary foods. It's going to help you give you that energy to go to the gym so that you can have a good session. So having a good sleep has a bigger impact than you might think. So one tip that I can give you to improve your sleep is to get into a really good sleep routine. And what that means is to train your circadian rhythm and go to bed at the same time every single night and try and wake up at the same time every single day. It's really going to help you improve your quality of your sleep. And then of course, minimize your screen time at least an hour before bed. Now, the fourth mistake that a lot of women are making is that you are drinking your calories. Now, I'm not just talking about alcohol. Alcohol is definitely something that affects it. There's no doubt in my mind, but there are also just so many little calories and things that sneak in during the day that you might not be tracking. Not that you're drinking olive oil, but that is a liquid that can definitely be sneaking in untracked. Maybe you're having 3 or 4 coffees that you're not actually tracking. And whilst coffee is good for you, when you're having 3 or 4, the calories in the milk actually add up really quickly. So making sure that you're tracking everything that you're drinking and that you're eating. And then on the weekend, if you can minimize your booze, it's really going to help you stick to your calorie deficit as well. And then lastly, and this is probably the most important and the most underrated mistake, is that you're not giving yourself enough time or you don't have enough patience to reach your goals. I always tell my clients that it's not so much about the end goal of your fat loss, whilst that is important and it's good to have fat loss goals. It is more about the journey, and it's more about becoming the type of person that has reached your goal already. Habits take a long time to change. If you spent, 10 years doing something a certain way, it's not going to just change overnight or in 8 or 12 weeks of trying a new program. So give yourself time. Allow yourself to make mistakes and learn along the way. Think of it more as a lifestyle change rather than just a quick fix, and really start becoming the type of person who has reached your goal, becoming the type of person who does all of these healthy things. And just know that fat loss takes time as well. To lose 1 kilo of fat, as a general rule, you need to be in a calorie deficit of around 7,700 calories a day. So if you're tracking consistently and you're in a deficit of around maybe 300 calories a day, you can see that it's actually going to take quite a while to lose 1 kilo. I usually say 200 grams to 300 grams loss a week is a really good fat loss goal. And if you can consistently hit that goal over weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, whilst at the time it might feel really slow, time does go really quickly, and before you know it, you will be maybe 5-10 kilos lighter. Another thing that's really important is to not set any time pressures on your fat loss goal, because what that does is set up unnecessary pressure for you to achieve something in a certain time frame, and when you don't quite get there, you feel like a failure. So instead, if you've got a goal, say of 5 kilos, just keep telling yourself that if you just keep trying and you keep working towards your goal, eventually you will get there. Yes, of course, there's going to be weeks where it goes really well and you see some drops in the scale, but then there's also going to be weeks where it doesn't move so much, and that's okay, just as long as you keep going. So they're my 5 big mistakes that you might be making on your fat loss journey. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. If you are someone who has a fat loss goal and maybe you're struggling to get there or you need some extra support and guidance, follow the link below to apply for my coaching, because this is what I do for a living and I would love to help you achieve your goals. And of course, come follow me on Instagram here, where I share more daily tips and tricks. See you soon.